Good day, beloveds. I am back in the country. Yes, I quit my job and I moved back home to the country where I'm from. I'm going to be telling you about that on a later story, but for now, this one is titled The Greatest of All Faults. Where did it come from? I saw about 15 years ago on a marquee at a church this quote that said, "The greatest of all faults is to be conscious of none." Why did that stick with me? The greatest of all faults is to be conscious of none. Well, things tend to stick to people when they, I guess, have a mission and the soul recognizes what that mission is. Even when you don't recognize it consciously, the soul always knows what its mission is. It never forgets. And so anything that's in alignment with that mission will stick out to you. What I had to learn this lifetime, obviously, was what my flaws were so that I could obviously grow and get better. Sometimes you just don't know what you're going to experience to get you there. I couldn't resist doing this video outside. It's such a beautiful day and it's cold, but sometimes cold weather is good for you, just like sometimes bitter foods are good for you. Getting off subject. So, my flaws, many of you may be able to relate to, especially in women. My flaws, I put too much expectations on people because I have such high expectations for myself. And this is often looked at as good in America. Like, you want to place high expectations on yourself. Yes, that is good, except when you don't allow yourself to make mistakes. You forget you're human and you forget that you have flaws and that you're still growing and that you're here to grow. And that, I think perhaps that's the most important thing about this lifetime for me. And again, we're all here on different missions. Many of you can probably relate to this. You don't think anything is wrong with setting such high expectations for yourself, except when you don't reach those expectations, then you just give up. And that's what has happened to so many people. Another flaw of a water sign, me, not setting boundaries for myself. Water likes to spread its knowledge and information even when other people don't want it, which is why I started this channel. But literally, water attempts to take the shape of the container that it's in. And a lot of times, because we don't set boundaries for ourselves, we conform to other people's boundaries. That is something that I have to learn this lifetime and that I'm beginning to learn. I have to learn when to say no, when to say stop, when to say I don't want to, and when to walk away. It's okay to place expectations on yourself, but don't place expectations on others. Why? Because when other people don't live up to the expectations that you placed on them, then you judge them, and that's where our downfall starts. By the way, if you don't have the pattern, you're sleeping. So how do you learn what your flaws are? How do you learn about yourself the most, you may ask? Pay attention. Pay attention to what life brings you. Pay attention to your family. Pay attention to your friends. Because I can tell you, being around my parents, I've learned the most about myself. If you're around someone and it's someone you love and they make you cringe with certain things they do, you probably do it too and just don't recognize it. This is how I learned most of what I wouldn't say flaws. Yeah, I'm going to say flaws. This is how I learned what most of my flaws are. Sometimes you see them in others and you don't recognize them in yourself, and that is a flaw. You have to be able to recognize that what you hate or dislike about someone else is probably because it resonates with a part of yourself that you don't like. And because you're not aware of it, you think that it's all the other person's doing. This is actually what happens a lot in relationships. And 90% of the reason you attract the person that you attract. They're there to teach you a lesson. And finally, how do you fix or correct these flaws? How do you grow? How do you change? How do you adapt? Well, you start by spending time with yourself, spending time looking at things around you like nature, because nature is a direct reflection of the Creator, and the Creator resides in you. No one creates your reality better than you do. The problem is most of you don't recognize that you're creating your reality by the choices you make, by the decisions and the things that you actually experience on a day-to-day basis are showing you exactly what you want to change. You just sometimes keep going through the pain because it's all you know. But when something doesn't feel right, when you're suffering silently or outwardly, take that as an indication that you need to change something. And it also is a way of giving back, because when you make yourself better, the whole world, it rises. Well, beloveds, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching Nourishment 101. Peace.